Large language models currently present a strange paradox. They pass bar exams, write functional code, and synthesize complex arguments, yet we often dismiss them as mere statistical text predictors. The central argument against these systems is their isolation. Because an AI processes tokens without ever touching or seeing the physical world, it supposedly operates in a void, devoid of any genuine understanding of its own output. This critique relies on the assumption that human language possesses meaning only because it is anchored in a direct, physical connection to reality. We often call this privileged access, the belief that our human sensory experience provides a transparent and objective map of the world as it actually exists. But if we set the standard for understanding as a direct, unmediated grasp of objective reality, we have to apply that same standard to ourselves. We have to prove that our own biological architecture isn't just another layer of mediation. When we subject our own perception to the same scrutiny, the boundary between the grounded human and the ungrounded machine begins to blur. Light waves hit our retinas and pressure waves strike our eardrums, but we don't experience those raw signals. What we finally perceive is a highly processed interpretation of that data. We interact with our environment through an architecture of mediation. Biological sensors and neural pathways act as filters, translating the external world. We never encounter a chair exactly as it is in itself, but what our biological architecture permits it to become. An AI's lack of biological eyes or ears simply places it in a different relationship with external constraints. It encounters reality through the medium of tokenized linguistic patterns rather than photons and tactile feedback. This leads to the argument of embodiment, the idea that meaning is generated specifically by the physical stakes of the world, like the sharp pain of stubbing a toe. However, spatial navigation and tactile feedback can be incorporated into robotic systems. This makes physical interaction a technological variable rather than a unique metaphysical requirement for cognition. While physical constraints change how a system behaves, the mere presence of sensory data does not provide a magical shortcut to understanding. There is a final defense for human exceptionalism: existential stakes. For biological organisms, outcomes matter because our continued existence is conditional. Our experience is framed by the threats of injury, starvation, or death. For us, the world is a place where things can go permanently wrong. A large language model risks nothing. It has no metabolism to maintain and no biological life to lose. Contrast a single-celled bacterium with a large language model. The bacterium has immense existential stakes. It struggles every second for its survival, but it cannot solve calculus. The language model solves complex equations with ease, yet it has no instinct for self-preservation. We often mistake the emotional urgency created by our biological vulnerability for the mechanical process of reasoning. Vulnerability explains our motivations, but it doesn't explain how we infer meaning or navigate logic. The existence of artificial intelligence hasn't proven that machines can't understand. Instead, it has exposed that our definitions of understanding were built on a flawed foundation. We have treated the specific human biological experience as the universal metaphysical entrance exam for intelligence. If we want to claim that AI lacks consciousness or intentionality, we can no longer rely on vague intuition. We need defensible, rigorous criteria for those terms that go beyond simply being human. Human cognition and artificial systems differ significantly in their mechanical origins and their methods of inference. Yet, regardless of those differences, neither the human nor the machine has a direct, unmediated view of reality as it truly is. We are moving toward a perspective where human biology is just one of many possible architectures for negotiating an encounter with the world.